vibe because everything you're doing, I had already done as well. So we're gonna be able to slide this easy. I jump in
Okay.
where I fit in. Praise.
Well, it's not what we're going to do, it's what we are doing right now. Okay.
Okay, well
So,
then let's do it.
all right, what we doing it then?
Oh, and one thing too for your housekeeping, let's make sure that when they're walking in, that we ask them to type in where they're calling from, so we can start jumping that algorithm.
Just say it. Just say it.
Okay, well I was just sharing like you were sharing earlier.
Well, we're on live right now, sweetheart. So you gotta
Oh, I
just
didn't.
say it.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if you stay ready, you won't have to get ready. You know what I'm
whoa.
saying?
Okay. Well, talk
So
that
just
talk then. Talk that talk.
I walk
Well,
that
ladies and
walk.
gentlemen, we want to welcome you to Tap In. Please take a step inside that front door, take your shoes off, and please, please, please let us know where you're calling from. Give us the city and state and let us know where you calling from.
Okay. Well,
Or listening from, I should say, I guess.
where are you calling from, Rich?
Well, I'm calling from Miami, Florida, beautiful Miami, Florida, and I love it. It's a great day, but it was hot as fish grease out here.
Oh, well, we got a new guest. I see on Chris Pomade. He has his own sports podcast based out of Canada. So, hey, Chris, I see you on the Facebook side. If anybody wants to join, coming on, and you can just DM me, and I'm going to put the Zoom link in the chat for anybody. We're going to be talking about the greatest salesman in the world. We started on this book last week, and it's so deep, it's so complex that Chris says it's 96 degrees in Canada. It was
Oh, you
cool. He's
giving
in
a run
Toronto.
for our money.
Huh?
They trying to give us a run for the money. 96? That
Yeah.
sounds like Miami weather.
Chris says it's the full talk show, not just sports. Okay. And
Correct.
and he's been out there for at least 6 years now. So I told him we're gonna start watching because recently I reminded myself that, you know, what I really appreciate about great athletes is, I mean, they're the people in our society that are always pushing themselves, and we really don't give them a lot of credit for their achievements. And just imagine if normal people did the same thing.
Yeah,
This
that's
is,
our versions of heroes.
yeah. So, you know, I'm hoping we can learn a bit from the sports. So he's been doing it for 6 years, 647 episodes. So I'm going to ask
Wow.
later, Chris, put your links in the chat too. And as we have other people come in, we'll do the same. What's the weather like down there in Miami?
Oh, it's hot as fish grease. It's hot. It's hot. But I love it. I love the heat. I love the summertime. It's beautiful, but we're coming in where it's raining a little bit now and then, little sun showers. So every now and then you get that steam coming after the hot. Yeah, you need AC.
Okay. All right. Well, I said I was going to open today. Maybe Dr. Bill will join us later. Dr. Bill is a regular, Chris, and for others that are joining. But I wanted to open with a few people like, well, Nikki, why are you talking about books? And so I said, you know what, let's make it clear why we are here. So Rich and I are friends. We've been working together for a long time. And I like to think of us as accountability partners. And we have been in a space where we have been doing personal growth, self-help books, talking about them for years and working on a lot of projects. And one of the projects that came out of that, or concepts, was can we go further, farther, faster? So the book that we're talking about today fits right in because it's talking about being the greatest salesman in the world, but we all are selling something to some degree, those of us that are trying to advance. So basically, we're building a community of people who can also hold each other accountable, ready to take their work, their passions to the next level. And this is our space for it. I created a Facebook group today, is BX Next. Also, if you're on, you can DM me. I'll send you the link to that. And that'll be a place for people to share information. Right now, I'm deep in learning what we can do with AI, what we can do with social media as an alternative path from some of the historical traditional platforms we've used to share information and talk with each other, especially in case of business. So some of the housekeeping rules is, again, if you'd like to come in on the Zoom side, if you want to be on camera, just DM me. I'll send you the link to come in on Zoom so you can talk. My only request is please turn on your camera just so we keep a tight production and we're not looking at a black screen. And also, if you do come in on the Zoom side, please stay muted. You can chat on the Zoom side or the Facebook side, but please stay muted until we get to the section where we open up for dialogue. Okay, so I did set up this book a little bit in the last, in our last chat, The Greatest Salesman in the World. I really liked how the book was set up. And so Rich promised me that we would come back today and talk about the content in the scroll. So the way this book is set up is there's a young camel boy who works for a very wealthy man, one of the wealthiest men of his time. And he says, look, I don't want to be a camel boy anymore. I want to make money. And the man asks him, but why? And so he says, well, how could I be comfortable? How can any man be comfortable and be impoverished? How can you look your family in the face and not have? And so the man grilled the boy a bit more, and it was revealed that he actually wanted money because he was interested in a girl who was the daughter of a very wealthy man. And so the older man chimed in and says, well, that's a much better reason, having a passion, having something you love, be your desire. And then it leads us into this theme of failure will never overtake you if your desire is strong enough. So maybe sometimes our desire is misguided, and maybe that's a part of the reason we're not growing. So we wanted to explore that a little bit with what's coming from this book. And so come on, Rich, you're going to take us into the scrolls today.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the scroll. I'm going to keep it very short, but it's really because it's about principles, right? And once you have principles and guidelines to your life, there's a good possibility that you're going to be successful. So as we go through the scrolls, it goes something a little like this. Number one, you hear the first scroll is, today I will greet this day with love in my heart. Let me say that again slowly. Today, I will greet this day with love in my heart. Now, we will go through it later on, but I just want y'all to ruminate over some of these ideas. The second one, it tells you, I will persist until I succeed. I will persist until I succeed. How many times have we given up when we know we had a good idea? How many times we had a good day, we had a day that was going well and we let somebody ruin it and we messed that day up? So you want to think about that. On the third scroll, on the fourth scroll, it says, I am nature's greatest miracle. I am nature's greatest miracle. We take for granted that we are thinking beings that have created civilization, and we act like we're normal, but we're not. We're nature's greatest miracle. And we have to ponder that. And when you read the scroll, it goes even deeper. By the way, I missed saying that in the beginning. As you read the scroll, it gives you the argument of why you are, or why do you use this particular principle. The next scroll after that, they tell you that today I will act as if this is my last day. Now, we've seen this in movies. What would you do if it was your last day? How would you act? Who would you talk to? Who would you hang out with? Today I will act as if this is my last day. Then we move forward to the next one. Yeah. Yes, yes. Then we go to the next one where it says, I will master my emotions. Now that one's a doozy. When you get to that scroll, you've done pretty good, but once you start talking about emotions, that goes a lot deeper than what you think. And it's an amazing scroll to go through and listen and hear how he explains it. The next one after that says, I will laugh at the world. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I will laugh at the world because we take everything so seriously that we forget to laugh. And laughter reminds us of our childhood and when things weren't so critical. And I'm not saying that you don't have responsibilities. I'm just saying that you can laugh at yourself. We had a book recently, Who Moved My Cheese, where one of the characters, Haw, laughed at themselves and found the cheese. Sometimes you can't be so serious. Then the next one says that I will multiply my value 100-fold. That's number 8. And it basically says that anything human beings touch that they put their heart, mind, and soul to, they increase the value to that thing. And we don't sit back and understand how wonderful it is to be able to create, to
Mhm.
bring things out of nothing, a thought, an idea, and make it into reality. Number 9 is probably Nikki and I have a race between who likes this one more. It's I will act now. See, the situation is that when you're a thinker or a ponderer, sometimes you can think yourself into stagnation. And this scroll helps move you. It says, I will act now. And that is probably one of the greatest success principles that you got to do something. And then the last one is, and this is the one where they add a little sauce to it, guide me. Whatever's the higher power that you believe in, you have to ask for guidance. And we sometimes, as humans, we're a little egotistical. We're not willing to ask for help. And sometimes you just got to break yourself down and realize if somebody else has done it and has been successful, just ask them. More likely, they are glad to tell you. But if you don't ask them, they're never going to tell you. And it doesn't have to be another human being. You can ask the divine, God, Holy Spirit, whatever the terminology you want to use, but you have to open your mouth and ask to be guided. And that's the brief synopsis about the principles at this time. What do you think, Nikki?
Yes, that's a very good synopsis. I see Dr. Bill trying to get in, so as he's getting in, we did have a few people join us. Those that missed it,
Excellent.
tell us where you're from in the chat if you can. If you have social media handles that you want to share, go right ahead and do that. So I want to get deeper into those principles. I saw Cammie said that laughing is very good for the soul if it is from the
Mhm.
soul. If it is from the soul. And like you said, that was a correlation between the two books. But yes, sometimes we just take ourselves too seriously, and I think that sets us up also for fear of making certain mistakes. And mistakes are going to happen. That's how we learn. And so if we can't laugh at ourselves, we just kind of make the same silly mistakes over and over. So the key to Ha and Who Moved My Cheese is he, unlike him, was able to actually laugh at himself. So yeah, that
But
is.
going on, but
Mhm.
even going in deeper, I just want to add on to what you're saying. When we're not willing to laugh at ourselves, what we're really doing is setting ourselves up to be crippled. Because that fear that forces you not to want to laugh, where you believe there's shame or that you're going to fail, it actually is crippling. It's debilitating. And you have to be in a position where you can say, listen, even if I fail, because almost every book I've ever read about becoming successful and wealthy tells you people have failed over and over and over again, but they were able to keep the same enthusiasm on the next project until they were successful. And I'm talking about me specifically, and maybe my buddy over there, Nikki, we just have to get to the point where we understand that no matter what, if we're persistent on what we decide we want to do, we'll be successful. There's no going around that.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in there. That's one again another principle of the book that's repeated and over and over. It says failure will never overtake me if my desire is strong enough. So it doesn't say you won't have failures. It just says that the
That's right.
failures won't overtake you. So, even in this whole social media space, myself included, there's many people I've tried to help through the years. And at the first sign of trouble, we go, oh, this is just not me. I can't do it. And so if we can laugh at ourselves again, we can be okay with what is a failure, sometimes horrible sometimes little failures, but it's still failure. But the failure will not win if you stay determined, and that's whatever it is. So I just came back from actually a technology conference in Atlanta, and I was just listening to them talk about. There's a company called Prolifics. They were talking about all this app that they're developing, so everybody will know to go in Atlanta in the World Cup. And during the World Cup is coming to Atlanta, and they were just using all these terms that I really don't have a clue. It sounded like Greek to me, and Karen was a little embarrassed, but I had to just chuckle to myself. I go, boy, you got a long way to go. Long way. And I kind of said that to Chris today in the chat. Like, he's been 6 years taking care of his business. This is just our third time talking here. So Rich and everybody, we got a long way to go just to figure out our path, right? With this.
That's right.
But it's like back to, what is your purpose? If you've got some purpose, and I know that today may be the only day I have. I want to know that the last thing I did is something that my child could be proud of, right? My mother would be proud of, something that my community, my neighborhood, people that grew up in the neighborhood of, like, she represents us well. She represents us with what we, the values that are important to us. So I want to bring that to, what was your take on some of those other principles? I'm sharing the links with people. So those that want the Zoom link, please put a request in my DM. And Rich, what else did you take away? Or I have some more if you don't.
Well, fortunately, I'm sure you will, but I'm fortunate that I've gone through the book a couple of times. And the one thing that I will say that I like is there are some of those principles that are a little bit more challenging than others. Like, I will master my emotions. Once you get into that situation, you got to realize that it's a lot more difficult than you think. And those are the kind of things that you want to understand, right? Then there's the one about, I will act now. As you get into the I will act now aspect of it, there's always going to be a level of fear of trying something brand new that you don't know. And for you to take the initiative to take a risk at it, knowing that you may fall flat on your face. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times our failure is, the fear comes from what we think other people are going to think about us as much as how we think about ourselves, which becomes a challenge. So those are the sharper ones that I noticed for me. The other ones were kind of easier to implement.
Well, I think everything was embodied, and I was sharing with you earlier. There was a beautiful scene that he set when the young man finally got the scroll in his hands, and he checked into a hotel before he could just get down into the chest and start reading each scroll. And he noticed a flock of sparrows outside. And then he looked around, and the next thing he knew, a tiny sparrow had gotten into his room, and he noticed he was thinking, how did the sparrow get inside? Because the flaps in the window were so narrow. But somehow he says, "Oh, you courageous sparrow." So I saw, an analogy there about that courage that's needed to do what sometimes your friends, family, associates are not doing, right? And then the sparrow acted on it. So he fed the sparrow some cheese. And so kind of back to Who Wants My Cheese. He fed the sparrow cheese and crackers, and he caused no harm to the sparrow. So another good book that I've read recently is The Power of Positive Thinking, right? We can think of every negative outcome that's going to happen, but rarely do we focus on the one, two, or few that would render a great outcome. So the sparrow did not confuse itself. It's just like, I'm going to get in there and get some food. And it got it. And then he said before he knew, the sparrow was gone away. And so I've now read the book 5 times in the last week.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just encouraged. The other ongoing theme is the act now, right? The sparrow acted immediately, therefore was able to reap the results of acting now. And for myself and many people that are my friends, I'm finding out the smartest people I know are the slowest to take action. Maybe because they're checking, double checking, triple checking. But I think that's where, in my mind, the idea of purpose comes into play. If you know your purpose, if you understand your goal, that is kind of your barrier. I mean, you're going to still make mistakes, but you can kind of stay on a track knowing, okay, I've made it very clear. This is my path. So I don't have to second guess what I'm going to do. So when I said, okay, if my path is, I want to teach people about branding, I want to teach people about social media, I don't need to second guess anymore if I'm to be online. I have to be. That's on the path. It may not be easy, may not be the funnest thing I want to do, but I have to. And that's just for me, you know, and I can't make anyone else do that. But that's what I think I would like all of us to consider. What is your purpose? What is your path? And like I said, those young men, hey, Danny Joseph, those young men went to someone with more authority. Oh, that's the part I want to recite. I'm going to do it the best that I can. When he says, even the baby, like everything in nature, has the instinct to call for help when it needs it, right? To call to its mother, to call to anyone. And somehow it gets and finds the help it needs. So, you know, we say in the hood, you know, closed mouth don't eat, right? Closed mouth don't get fed. So, but it reminds everything in the universe that we know, a plant, it won't grow without the water. It, you know, it leans towards the sun. The grass follows the sun. So what happens in us that we get so afraid to ask for help or even admit, hey, I don't know. We get so much, we put on this mask of we know. And I think that's really holding a lot of us back, especially now we're moving into this technological age where there's a lot of language, just a lot of terminology that we don't know. And how are you going to know if you just don't make a decision? Hey, you know, I'm going to start trying to know. So that's what I've decided. It doesn't matter how long it takes. That's my path. I'm interested in innovation, safety, education, and having fun doing it. So that was
hit the horn.
Oh, hit the horn. Okay. And so I'll wrap that up with, let's go to the portion where he talks about anything that you do all the time.
Jeff follows 6,367. WhatsApp audio.
I'm just talking. I was talking about the portion of, it says the only thing that can replace a habit, since you're going to be a slave to your habits, is another habit. So if you're going to be a slave to habit, why not be a slave to your good habits? Hey, Tanae, what do you think about the habit?
I think that's one of the most powerful, especially because it's so early in the scrolls, that if you sit back and you just think about it, it may have to some people negative connotations to it. But when you think about it, what you're saying to yourself is that I want to be the best of a version of myself that I can be. So what I'm going to do is conquer these habits that are the best, and I'm going to have the discipline to follow those habits wherever they may take me. And the results of anything that you're following, if it's good, it's going to lead you to more good. Just like if it's bad, it's going to lead you to more bad. There's no getting around that. That's why I love when I read about the habits. I think it's just amazing. You chose a good one right there. That one has fire to it.
It does, because I know we all have habits, you know, and if someone points it out to us, goes, well, I'm not perfect. Well, at least I don't do that anymore. And so, you know, that's the norm. But, you know, like I said, it has to be up to us. And the whole theory of this show is tapping in. You know, if you're not ready, you don't want unsolicited advice. But when you are ready, then you'll call for help. You'll find help. You'll get the help you need. And that's what we're just doing here. Can we help each other be the greatest that we can be? And then the last thing he says, I am a unique grape on a vine of many other grapes. So like that being nature's most greatest miracle, right? Every grape on that vine is a great miracle, even though so I think the humbling part is many other grapes. Okay, you're not the only grape, but you are specifically designed for your purpose, your path. And what do you think about purpose? Or is that just something Weirdo Me does? Is purpose a thing for you?
Well, for me, it sounds like I'm very grateful.
Okay.
No horn, no nothing, huh? Just.
Oh, you wanted to, okay.
I thought it was funny. Like, okay, all right, I'll get better jokes. Don't worry, we got time. It's only the third time.
You know what? I just got it. You are very grateful. Oh
yes.
my goodness. Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Enough with that.
But you know,
okay.
I agree with you. You have to have purpose, but just like in this book, and as a matter of fact, just as a teaser, I don't know if we're gonna do this right away. The second book that they have, the part two, it has the 10 success principles that you need to have. Because first you get the success or the finances or whatever, the money, and then it also then talks about success. But going back to what we were talking about, yeah, the more you are attuned to who you are and what's holding you back, the easier it is for you to make a decision of what you want to do. Now, whether you do that or not, that's the difficult part of it. Because then you have to make a honest assessment to yourself and say, I'm going to do this no matter how challenging it may be. So I may have to put up 5 posts a day just to get some traction. Are you willing to do that? Are you ready for the challenge? Because it's not that you can't do it. Physically, you can. The question is, do you have the fortitude to do it? That's how I look at it.
Well, I think that's a good segue, and I'm going to open it up to you before we go to our audience. If there's anybody in the audience that hasn't yet, tell us where you're signing on from. Tell us if any of these principles are interesting to you. Tell us if have you read the book. But I wanted to get into is this an old school idea? And I know our national president has the moniker about making America great again. And one of my family, they said, let's truly make America great. But is personal greatness even a thing anymore? That's just done away with? Are we just all right with doing what everyone else does? What about you? Are you working on your own personal greatness?
All the time, every single day, every time my heart beats, because I think there's only 2 levels to this. Either you're going to be principle led or behavior led. And behavior is when you hear all this conversation about fake it till you make it, right? But when you start doing principles, there's no faking in that. If you're going to greet the day with love in your heart, people are going to feel that. There's no faking that. I mean, you can act like you're faking it, but people will pick that up in a heartbeat. But when you really are doing it where you want to see other people happy, there's no faking that. If you're going to persist until you succeed and you're up till 11, 12 at night doing a project, there's no faking that. But the principle is when, you put on clothes and airs and you try to act like you're something that you're not. Eventually people pick you out, and then they make decisions that they're no longer going to be around you, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I read a good quote today, that
Oh, give it to me.
most of the work that we do to improve, nobody ever sees, especially in this social media world. Everybody's posting this facade that we want people to see. But the real hard work, no one ever sees. No one sees the pain. They just see the finished product, and then often we think that we want what that person has, but we're not willing to put in the work that they did. You're not willing to go through the pain, the discipline, the day after day after day, the failure. That's just a part of the process. And so again, this book reminded again, people are going to close doors in your face. People are going to tell you you're no good. People are going to tell you you're ugly. People are going to tell you you're not enough. And you're going to have to be all right with that. That's a part of the process. So I wanted you to open it up. You have any questions for our audience, Rich?
Well, I have just basic questions, and I know we're not going to be able to get through all the questions today, but there are some things that I would like to do. As far as I want to go from the beginning, if you're going to open your heart and say that I'm going to greet this day with love in my heart, I would like some of the people in our audience to kind of give me an example of when they hear those words, because I know they haven't read the book yet, but when they hear those words, what would they do in their life to greet their day with love? What would it require for them to do? And how would that affect them once they started following in that direction? Something as simple as that. So if the chat wouldn't mind typing in or calling in or letting us know, this would be a great time for us to hear from you all.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes, but if you guys please put it in the chat. Does that resonate with you, this idea of meeting the day with love? And if so, what could it do for you?
Yes.
I'll wait and see if I find anything in the chat. One of the suggestions in the book is this, he says, I will say in my mind when looking at a person, I love you. And now imagine this is the person that was working your last nerve. I love you, right?
Well, I
But
got to be that person.
it's got to be that person, because that's the person
Yes,
that
yes.
triggers you and takes you off your course. Like you meant to start off a great day, but that person, whoever it is, takes you way somewhere else. So I will look at that person. So this was a real action. I think this helpful, and say, I love you. And that thought, and I'll look and say, I love you. That thought will transform my energy. And it says, my greatest weapon then will be love. Right? I will destroy the hate. And for every man, I will look at him, and in my mind, I will say, I love you. So that was powerful for me.
That's very powerful. But now, once again, I know we may have people that are highly intellectual and they want to say, well, you got to be careful about. We're not saying it's going to change their behavior in any other way than how we perceive them to be. And then hopefully, just by the perception, eventually they'll get to the point where they won't be, or we won't see them as that, or they won't behave like that in our atmosphere.
It's not even it's to change our behavior, right?
That's right.
By
Exactly.
changing our behavior, we're likely to get a better outcome. Because like we're talking about salespeople, everybody knows that person is trying to sell them something, and they're like drilling you, and then they just get to a point like, you know what, I don't want it, okay? Because this person is showing you, I don't care about if you need it, I don't care about if you want it, I want you to buy it. So it's kind of the energy is very self-centered. But imagine if that same person was looking at you as, I love you, no problem. If you needed another day, I got it. Look, I got plenty of these cars. I got plenty graphic design. I got plenty books. What do you want? No worries. As a matter of fact, can I help you change your tire? But that sentiment of, it's about us, it's not just about me. Is far more powerful than just here, my way, or we don't see ourselves in the other person. And I think that connected to the aspect in the book where it says in the early requirements that you are to give away half of your earnings. I was like, I don't know anybody that would give away half of their earnings. And none. I don't know if that's for tax breaks, why that's recommended. However, that means I'm willing to share one for you, one for me, for someone in need. I'm like, that's a high level of virtue in this, I think, in this society. But the thought back to, that's what love is, right? So it may not be dollar for dollar. It may be the energy of, you know what, I can forgive you for being a jerk. Hey, I was a jerk yesterday, right? So I need forgiveness myself. And so I have started to do that in the morning, remind myself the best thing I could give to this next 12 hours that I have is the best energy of love that I can muster up. And if I get caught and I get triggered, then I can remind myself again, because just like I said, failure will come. I will fail and I might curse somebody out, but failure will not overtake me, right? And I can come right back and put that thought right back in, right? Red flag, okay, you tripping, Nikki. Let me go back to trying to love. And people will feel, when people change their tone, you hear it immediately. And you can tell when somebody's being combative and when they're fighting with you. And I think that one is really powerful.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head, and I'm going to crystallize it a little bit. That thing about giving half of your money away, and even before that point, what you're really doing is you're saying that I'm going to operate from abundance. And even though you may be acting from lack, I have enough for me and for you. It's like in some of these old places where you hear people say, well, the rain falls on everybody. Well, if that was the case, and if we thought in the terms of abundance as rainwater, nobody would be thirsty. But you still see that people are thirsty because everybody thinks that they only want them to succeed and not the fellow man or woman to succeed. And so when you said that thing about, hey, is it for me or for them? You changed it from, I'm trying to be happy, to, I would like to see you happy as well. Even if I don't sell this to you, I still want you to be happy. And I think that's a powerful principle to stand on.
That's good. I just imagine like the watermelon truck that's at the corner, it's
Mm-hmm.
in the hood, and you
Yep.
go and you're looking at the watermelon or whatever the fruit are, and the guy goes, "No, get this watermelon. This one is much better." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you like me, huh?" And you go like, "You know what? Let me get 3 watermelons. I'm gonna give one to my neighbor and one to my sister." But it's just that gesture of love that's far more powerful and sellable. And unfortunately, con artists and charmers use these tactics all the time. It's really unfortunate that people who have something to teach, thinkers, artists, people who have purpose, are not using this same concept of, if I express love, like they put a little sugar on it, I'm more likely to attract listeners. I'm more likely to attract people to partner with me. And that's in whatever you're doing. So we only have Dr. Bill on the Facebook side. I'm gonna check to see if I have any other requests, anybody else that want to join in on the Zoom side. Nobody answered anything about the leading the day with love. They said, "Hey, love." Hey, love.
That's an
And,
answer.
so Rich, let me see what else. If you guys don't want to answer anything, also, if you have social media handles, you want to share your pages, go ahead and do that in the chat. And you want to open it up, Rich, now?
Yes, that would be a great idea.
Okay. So I'm not sure if anybody read since then. I know Dr. Bill is on the Zoom side. Dr. Bill, if you want to share it with us, come and turn on that camera so we can see you. And let me see. We got about, this thing is deceptive. This is deceptive. Okay, Rich, don't get shy now.
Oh, no, I'm not shy. So then there's other principles like that. The one I think most people never think about is I will increase my value 100-fold.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we live in a time where people say that's good enough for government work. Oh, I'm not gonna give no extra hours at the job. I don't do no overtime. I don't come in early. And then if somebody's doing that, oh, that's the brown noser. But guess what? That's the person that normally becomes the CEO of the company. Because what they did was they put in their effort to realize that it's not about kissing any butt. It's about understanding that I'm a valuable member, and what I'm going to do is find what is the most valuable aspect to the company, which is usually the money line for the company. So if I know everything that I'm supposed to do in my office, one of the things that I used to tell my people that would hire me is I have one sole job. My job is to replace you. And they would be like, what? What do you mean replace me? I said, yeah, if I work hard enough and I know enough of what I'm supposed to be I'm doing, then I'll be promoted because you're going to promote me so you can go to the next spot where you're supposed to be. Because right now you're in my seat and I want that seat. So I've got to become great at what you are going to teach me so that you can then get the accolades from what I've done so that you can go to the next seat. And they'd laugh and be like, I've never had anybody say that to me. I said, but that's how I look at everything. How can I become better so that I can help you become the best that you can be so that I can move higher? I don't want to be stagnant. I mean, 3 years, I still don't want to be doing the same thing I'm doing that I did 3 years ago. That's a waste of time and energy and brain power. I don't like that. I like to try something new and move forward. And you, with your career, all the things that you've tried, I mean, you've been fearless in trying
You
new
make it
things.
sound like I tried everything.
I didn't say all that. That's what you said. I
Well,
just said you
I
was
did try
fearless.
almost
What
everything.
about the fearless part? You didn't hear that part, huh?
I know, I heard that part. And you know what, that was something too, because there was a time when, people say, well, Nikki, are you fearless or are you reckless, right? And so I wanted to make sure all over the place.
Wow, that's good.
So another thing, so Dr. Bill, if you're on, one of my questions that I was trying to ask, I mean, we all have habits. You know, one of the questions was if you had one habit that you can change or start today, what would it be to make your life better a year from now? Because there you go.
Nikki, yeah, I'm here. Nikki, I'm still struggling. I'm here because of you, and I want to support your podcast.
Thank you.
But the subjects that you guys are talking about in terms of how to succeed, I've done all that. I'm in a different place right now. And I've been in a different place. And as you know, my belief is, well, let me say it this way. What I do know is that no matter how far I go, if I'm going by myself, it means absolutely nothing. Because in the end, when I'm no longer here, wherever I have gone will be erased. History is not an individual thing. History is a group thing, and I am all about the group. I know I sent you something. And so, oh, this would be a great, I knew you were going, I kind of figured you were going to say, oh, okay, thank you, and just ignore it.
I actually watched it. And I have a comment about it when you allowed me.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to apologize when you say I ignored it after I talk about it.
Okay, yeah, that you were going to reject it because you haven't talked about it.
Right, but today you just sent that to me one day ago, and I'll tell you why I didn't talk about it, and that doesn't mean I rejected it. I'm here to try to encourage people to speak up for themselves, and so I have many people, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I have a whole load of people who send me things that they don't have the courage to share, right? And so I have to step out and be courageous to share even this platform, to make this platform. And I'm inviting everybody, this community, to come and share, as you said, share what they know. I can't share what I know, what I don't know confidently. Wait, can I finish, please? And some of the things that even recommended in that video, I'm actually doing without talking about them. So my view is I want to encourage people to do let's talk more action. So I'm trying to teach through demonstration and not by necessarily showing someone else's video. So, but I definitely open the floor for you to share what's in the video.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. See, so you did not reject it, and you did garner something from it. So
one of the things we talked about was starting schools. So I am starting an academy. Right. So that was one of all this. So I invite you to share those thoughts, even though they're not your thoughts, but share the thoughts that you think are important. That's why I've invited you.
Those are my thoughts.
Okay, well, let's share them.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say now is that by sharing that video with you, for you to begin to identify with a different group of people. They don't have to talk at you. See, I can't really get you to see where I am by talking at you about what I believe. I'd have to let you see it. See, consciousness is not just about thoughts and beliefs. It's about the whole ball game. Religions fail for that same reason. And having been a pastor for so many years and having preached at people, I gained the experience that really, is as good as it sounds, and it has some very sound ideas. But in terms of the motivation of people to move in a direction of harmony and love, it doesn't work. learn as a pastor is that you can move a great number of people in one direction, and a lot of preachers who preach the gospel, the prosperity gospel, you know, they do that. They do that. But at what cost? And what are they really doing? Are they really doing what benefits them? Is it an individual thing? You know, see, and I learned as a pastor and having other pastor friends, you know, you can do it like in, in my ministries, you know, I didn't preach for people I didn't try to grow great big churches or have big cars or try to get airplanes, people to buy me jets. I preached for the people who were in the community, who needed help. And rather than trying to talk at them, we went to them. See what I'm saying? And we did for them until they could do for themselves. So and that,
I'm about that life, and that's what I'm saying. So we are
let me answer some of your previous questions.
Okay.
Because the previous thing was, what can I do tomorrow? When I wake up tomorrow, that will get me through the day, that will help me. I've already been through the things that, most of the things that I want to achieve. There is one more thing in my direction, but right now, I have turned at this point, like we do in Africa, we turn from the collective to the elder who is now trying to live life in peace. And that is a demonstration to people who are active in their lives, that peace is also a characteristic, because especially in America, that's why I left it, because in America with the MAGA movement and the Civil War that's coming, peace is not an option. So people are divided, they're confused, they're just running around, not really knowing what to do. And what you're describing in some of your statements is the result of what has happened over a number of years of division. It is very difficult to create love in the midst of division. It's very difficult. I mean, we may think that we can.
But doesn't it start in ourselves, in a decision, a personal accountability to do that?
My personal experience, like when I met you, I didn't try to get you to become a group. I tried to help you in the way that you needed help. And we're not going into, your private stuff, but when you say, well, this is what I need, and this is where I helped you. This is where I thought I can help you get to the next level.
And you did. And I asked for that help and you gave it.
Right. Yes,
is that not love?
No. Asking for the help is the love.
We may be going a little bit off track here.
If you ask me for the help, that means you had the love.
Let me finish this statement, Dr. Bill. You said I asked you for the help.
Yeah, you asked me for the help. That was an act of love. Because you were saying that I trust you enough, I care for you enough to put myself in your hands. And my act of love was allowing you to be put into my hand, accepting what you giving me as a gift, and then doing the best that I could with it. And as a result of that, now you're here doing this, and helping and it happens to the people and, and in the journeys, things that you've done. I too have done a lot of things in terms of jobs and stuff like that, and all of those things helped me to get to where I am today. And all the things that you do will help you to get to where you would be 20 years from now. But where I am today at 81, it's not the same place I was at when I met you at 40. So I'm saying, I'm not trying to, like when I get up in the morning, it's what I do today to make me feel worth living.
All right. I think Rich had a comment, question.
No,
Dr. Bill,
I'm
thank
just
you.
saying.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, what I'm trying to do is, I think we're getting a little away from what our intention is on our podcast is really to help people establish sovereignty of themselves and be able to move forward so that we can actually create a stronger community as opposed to one that may be able to be infiltrated and destroyed from the inside out.
Well,
So,
I wanted to remind everybody, we do have some
yeah,
community standards. So if we
right.
don't follow those standards, we don't have a platform to talk here. So Facebook just sent me a message to remind that certain things, if it perceives, if it's hate speech, if it's against a group, they will cut us off altogether. So we got to stay mindful. So that's why I'm always about let's talk in ways that we need to talk with who we need to talk to. So I have created a Facebook group. It's a private group. If you'd like to be a part of it, if there's things you want to share there, again, to a community of people who want to grow and learn, that would be a better place to share it. But we have to follow those standards because we are using a public platform that we don't own. And until we set up various ways to talk with each other, we have to follow those rules. So if you're interested, that group is called the BX Next group. That's Baker Exchange group. It'll be on Facebook. We'll have other ways to talk as well. So this is just one platform that offers an open platform to share about improvement. And improvement for some is not about financial. For some, it is about peace. Back to Who Moved My Cheese. For Ha, his success was success at peace. For him, his success was success at money. So who am I to, I can't change the fact some people need money. That's what their drive is, that, their goals, that's their goals. But my intention is to make sure that we're learning. There's a lot of people who do want to learn, are ready to learn and move forward. And who's going to teach them? So there was once upon a time, people it was illegal for them to read. It took for someone to say, come on, I'll read with you. So again, I love what Dr. Bill was saying about there is a time and there is a place when people will go to the elders, and it's still that. And then also the elders also rely on the youth or the people who understand the new information, and there needs to be that connection. So we need connection again. We need community again. And so this is a first step for that. But Facebook got standards. So if we appear to be attacking anybody, we won't have this platform anymore. So just want to keep everybody in mind of that. Is there anybody else that has anything they want to put in the comments? I don't know. Facebook might already block the comments because they stopped about 30 minutes ago. So I just want us to be mindful. And Rich, was there anything that Dr. Bill was sharing that you want to address, or something else from the book?
No, I would rather just stay on the book at this point because, like we've had the discussion before, we're here to help those people that want to get to a level of surety within themselves where they can feel that, unfortunately, we are undereducated as a community, but there are tools out there, and it's kind of like a pendulum. On one side, there's the word learn, and on the other side is earn. And the more you learn, the more you'll earn. And then at that point, you will then learn the next lesson of what to do once you're successful, what to do with those things that you've earned, which hopefully will lead you to community. But in anything that we do, at one point it was one of our mantras to be community first. And then, through this thing we call civilization and slavery and things of that nature, we seem to be avoiding each other more, especially with things like AI coming into play. And whether we like it or not, I believe what I do agree with is that we're going to have to connect. We're going to have to come together as a community. We're going to have to rely on each other for our survival, but also our joy. And I think we're starting to turn around because, like you said earlier, that gentleman we call our president, he seems to be helping us learn how to become a community again.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, I'm not getting anything else in the chat, so they might have cut that off. So we're gonna
Yeah.
have to ride out tonight as we were.
What time is it?
But again, the group is the BX Next group. Also, August 30th, we got 7 minutes. August 30th, we're gonna have a boot camp.
Yes.
It will include Rich Milholm, Stephanie
Yeah.
LaSala, also known as the date profiler. She's going to be going over, how to read and tell if people's profiles are real while you're here on social media, as well as discussion of a bit of understanding personality traits. Again, like when we're teaching, we're talking to each other. If you don't understand other people's personality traits, oftentimes you won't know why people are not responsive to you. And sometimes again, we're putting salt on it, and so we don't understand why people are tuning us out. It's because of sometimes our delivery. So just like you said, a little bit of humility, a little bit of laughing at ourselves. But it's what she will be sharing is a clear procedure for you to better understand what your personality style is and how to talk to people better to get your point across, and do it quickly, especially in this information age where people's attention spans are kind of short. And I'm going to be going through teaching people how to do their own bulk social media campaigns. So what that is everybody goes, I don't have time for that. Showing them step by step how to set it up for themselves. Some people say, well, they just can't do it. But for those that are interested in learning, I'll be teaching that. And again, we'll be just talking about some positive and peaceful things to help us maintain that. Okay, so we do still have some people here. Cammie's still here. And was there anything else, Rich? We got the group, we got the boot camp coming up. And later, for those who are of the creative persuasion or business people who just feel stuck with ideas, we'll be starting the Artist Way
Right.
group and workshop. And that's a 13-week workshop that I've done several times now at a couple of different schools. That was very helpful for me, just getting out of my rut of doing everything the same way and just kind of dumping a lot of the garbage out of your brain so you can be open to some new ideas and new pathways, whether it's in business, whether it's through creativity, just sometimes how we deal with other people. But I found it very helpful. And it's like a 12-step recovery for the artist in you. So even for people who feel like they have no artistic capability, if you just wanted to explore music or visual arts or anything in your life, and some critic in your life told you, no, you can't do it, or outsiders, bullies, haters, whatever you want to call them, is to put them finally in their place so you can be the full you that you came to be. So we'll be talking about that more maybe next week. That's the Artist Way group. And in the meantime, we're getting ready for boot camp. Oh, and if you want to do the boot camp, if you want to learn more about it, what's included, go to superflyers.biz/boot camp. And then I also have the slay the brand game, and which a few of my friends have started, but nobody has finished yet because nobody really wants to sit down and think about what it is that they're putting out there. Everybody just wants the instantaneous results. And I created this because as years in graphic design and giving people advice, we end up having to go back again and again and again and fix things because people haven't made the decisions. They don't know which direction they want to go in. So that brand guide is going to help you decide just some basic things like what colors you're using, the fonts you're using, what's your message, what are your values. And these are things, if you were to partner with another business, or even if you were to partner with my business, I need to make sure your values are aligned with my values. Otherwise, I would say nicely, sorry, that doesn't align with my brand value. So look out for those. Rich?
Yeah, I have one question. Since we're going to have this amazing boot camp coming up, Well, at the end of the boot camp, will we do a boots on the ground line dance?
Oh, I would like that. Wait a minute. Boots on the ground. That even
Yeah.
sounds like I really can't do that dance, but I will fail, but tell you what I say. Talking my language. And wait a minute, not that. So yeah, we can do the boots on the ground. Are you gonna lead us?
Oh no, I'm not. I don't even know how to do it. But I'll cheer y'all on.
You just want to watch all the ladies do the boots on the ground.
Praise the Lord.
Okay, well I'll get the boots on the ground music ready so that we can do the boots on the ground. So I want to say thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. Of course,
Yes, thank you.
Don't forget the fans.
Yes, sir.
I said, don't forget the fans.
Don't forget the fans. Wait, where them fans at?
That's right. Where them fans at?
Where them fans?
Okay.
Do they do that dance in Panama, Dr. Phil?
Oh yeah. They love it here in Panama. Yeah. The thing about Panama is that most of the people that I know here are retired people.
Okay.
So they have already done things. They've already achieved things. They couldn't be here if they had not.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I want to put them into a podcast, but
Well, we got some work to do. We can make as many podcasts as we want to, or invite them to this one, or we'll make a whole new one. You got the Dr. Bill show.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about that, but it would have to be a different orientation.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Robert Taylor, I want y'all to give it up. We are wrapping up. We got 1 minute left. I want y'all to show some love in the chat for Dr. Bill for coming back and supporting this. Give it up for Rich Mill. Where's my sound effect? And we got Dr. Robert Taylor came in. We got Tanae. We had Tammy, President King, and just thank you for everybody that came on. So
and don't forget, and hey, don't forget, Nikki Styles Baker.
Oh yeah, Nikki Styles Baker. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll be back. And thank you for just trying. Don't forget, we got the group. It'll be the BX Exchange. If you want it, I'll send you the link. This will be a private group, so I'm not promoting it publicly, and that group will allow us to share with each other, people who are following this and want to share information amongst the group. Okay. So
Sounds
thank
good.
you and good night.
All. Take care. Good night. Be blessed.
All right. Wait, what happened to the music? All right. Hang up. All right. Good night.
Good night.